understand what's going on, do you?
Understand what?
Oh my God.
I'm tired. I'm gonna go home.
No, you're not.
Is that how it ends?
Who said anything about ending?
Hi, Lucy. Good morning.
Thanks so much for your time.
Oh, my pleasure. House of Darkness. I really enjoyed it, and it was just fantastic. So thank you for joining me this morning.
Oh, yeah, it was really fun.
Well, yeah, House of Darkness, it's a Bram Stoker story that's reimagined, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. I was just thinking, yeah, it is. It's funny. It like, I don't know if you know this, but it like we filmed it in a castle in Arkansas, like, and so there's just something that feels so kind of like postmodern about just like the whole concept, but like I feel like especially the idea of like having this like new it's yeah, like a new sort of McMansion that's like meant to look exactly. It's based on a real live castle from I don't know, some part of Europe, and there's just something about that that feels like kind of indicative of the whole thing, where it's like, yes, it is these we are taking from an old time, all of the classic Victorian Gothic text, but then also putting, it's set in modern day, but it's also timeless because these people have been, are living forever. So
Yeah, it reminded me of the Hammer films, those 60s horror films from the 1960s.
Totally.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
And you couldn't fake that castle. I was going to ask you that. I mean, but I had no idea. I thought you were in Europe somewhere, not Arkansas.
Yeah, I wish. Yes, which is kind of great. In the middle of the pandemic in Arkansas, like doing a chamber piece, it was, and yeah, there's just something about, vampires. It's very, the appeal, at least for me, is like the sexiness of it. And yet it was also in COVID, which was like, to me, like the most unsexy time because we're all just as sort of sterile as possible. So,
yeah. And Justin Long and Kate Bosworth, they had kinetic energy, didn't they?
oh my God. I think it's what makes the whole film really crackle is that we, the audience, are so off kilter the whole time. We just can't quite pin down what is the tone because there's so much sexual chemistry. Like it's really, really alive. It just sparks off the screen. And yet they're also like really toying with each other and like really sort of fucking with each other. And you don't know, like, wait, who is predator? Who is prey? Like, who is, like, what are we saying? It feels like taking all these sort of tropes of the victim, maybe, but like she's certainly not a passive woman, like it, and flipping it on its head. There's just a lot that I feel like he's wrestling with in a these sort of iconic tropes, but in a post-Me Too world, but also not really having easy answers for any of it, like really sort of setting up a lot of material for you, the audience, to wrestle with, because you definitely don't come out with like neat good guys, bad guys in this.
And this movie's also a 4-person piece. And I heard you shot the movie in order, which is rare. So this was almost like a theater production atmosphere, wasn't it?
Totally. Yeah. And obviously, I mean, that's how I came to Neil's work. Was I studied theater, and I certainly studied a ton of his work and was a huge fan. And so getting to work with him now is very cool. But then also sort of getting to see, you're right, there was a feel of theater, which I could just miss, certainly in a pandemic. But there was also, because of what, actors like Kate and Justin brought to it, Justin works a lot in like spontaneity and keeping it fresh. So there's a lot of like, I don't know, improvisation, which is so counter to the way, like, in the theater world, the playwright's word is you know, he is God, and that is revered. So it was this like fun kind of meeting of both of those worlds to sort of see this playwright and director, but also to bring in some like newness.
And you know, I love how it starts with about telling scary stories or telling stories in general. Are you good at telling stories?
I love stories. I'm a huge, you know, I mean, I've become addicted to both podcasts and like books on tape. Like, I love the intimacy of somebody telling me a story in my ears. It's like the best. Not sure if I'm giving myself away, but I am a rambler, as I am doing in this interview. Yes. And I find the art of storytelling quite tricky, but I have a deep reverence for it. It's probably what drew me to this line of work.
Well, Lucy, congratulations on House of Darkness. Congratulations playing a vampire, you know, so and it's just in time for Halloween, and you're just so charming. Thank you so much for joining today. Let's talk again soon, okay?
I love that. Have a great day.